And thank you, Your Honor, Honorable Chairman. I'm submitting something for the record to the commissioners and the city attorney. One of my issues here is that I hear talking points about letting the voters decide. And the issue here I have is with the proposed ballot language that is going to be proposed to go to the voters should 3 out of the 5 of you confirm this resolution. So this resolution contains very misleading ballot language. The ballot language does not say that you would be waiving competitive bidding. So the issue here is waiving competitive bidding. Now, if I'm someone like the University of Miami that has to play in Miami Gardens instead of my old home in the city of Miami, I have no ability to bid on this project because this deal has seemingly already been concluded. And this lowball number is $3.6 million. The University of Miami is paying $4 million, and I'm not representing the University of Miami. I'm a Hurricanes fan. But they're paying $4 million to Stephen Ross when we could bring that stadium back. If you wanted a stadium, they could share with MLS. I mean, there's other bids that need to be considered. The golfers have a point. You know, the golfers have a point. I played on that golf course. I played baseball there as a little leaguer. I've had teammates go play Major League Baseball playing on those fields next door. So I would keep it as it is, but if we're going to talk about other bids, let's talk about competitive bidding. Let's put it out for bid. I think $20 million is a starting point, what the other guy mentioned. This $3.5 million is nothing. Hurricanes pay that for 7 games. 7 games. And that's $4 million a year. They pay more than that. So you can't even consider this. You need to change the ballot language. I've got the letter showing why the ballot language needs to be changed to show that we're amending the city charter to get rid of competitive bidding, because otherwise the voters will have no idea what they're voting on. They need to make an intelligent decision based on all the facts, and the ballot language does not include that. So I would suggest you all have an amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, you're recognized.
Good afternoon, honorable commissioners. My name is Lauren Paulette, and I am a sophomore at Johns Hopkins University. Prior to standing here today, I sat on the Youth Activities Task Force Committee for Miami Lakes for 3 years, giving my input on parks and recreation. An issue we consistently faced was having profitable, safe green spaces for our children. I am also a Miami resident who has a dream for our people. This dream is to help provide my generation, the youth in our city, with a beacon of freedom, a center for community, a departure from our everyday struggles, a unifier despite polarity, a goal. Soccer helps fuel our community and has given the Hispanic and migrant residents in South Florida an object to be prideful for. Just like the Freedom Complex, it is a complex and sometimes befuddling experience that provides our youth with a lesson that through hard work we can prevail. This is the lesson my parents taught me when they left a government that stripped its people of their voice in Cuba. Our democracy is centered on this principle, the freedom of expression. The issue at hand is to give our community the opportunity to vote on this item. Commissioners, I urge you to embrace democracy and give our people the ability to choose whether or not they support this initiative. Let us all decide in the voting booth. Thank you for this time.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Gustavo Perez, and I live at 4725 Northwest 7th Street, apartment 202 in District 1. I am against this deal for several reasons. This does nothing for the problems plaguing our city. Our rents keep going up, our streets get flooded, and traffic never improves. This real estate deal will not solve these problems that everyday citizens face. Despite the plan allowing for public space, the city is essentially giving away land for a for-profit enterprise. The city will not be a stakeholder in any of these proposed developments. Third, the time frame is too short for the public to be really aware of what is going on. We don't have any traffic studies, and I feel we need to do a lot more due diligence before we can put it to a vote. Also, if the land is really available for use, then we should consider all alternatives, not just a hotel office building with a soccer stadium attached to it. If these investors have $1 billion to put behind the project and are willing to pay market value, then we need to do something in a more transparent, competitive, and less hurried manner, or bid on a private land. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniela Garcia, and I am a student at Coral Reef Senior High School. I am part of the IB program with a 4.0 unweighted GPA, and I play competitive soccer. I started playing soccer when I was 5 years old. I am telling you this so that you can understand who I am. I have been a part of the Olympic Development Program and the National Training Center. I have played for Weston FC's Development Academy, and I will be playing for FC Prime, the Elite Clubs National League, this year. It has been an honor and a privilege to be recruited to play for both of these teams. I wake up around 5 in the morning every day to be on time for school. After school, in order to play in the most competitive environment possible, I have to commute from Pinecrest to Fort Lauderdale. As a result, I go to bed around 11:30 on most school nights. I love where I play, and I am grateful for the experiences I have had with my team. But I want other young girls like me to have access to the sport and highest level of coaching in Miami. I am not criticizing in any shape or form the clubs in Miami where very good friends of mine currently play. There is a lot of potential in these clubs which can be harnessed in the facility proposed here today. I can only imagine the pride with which I would wear a football Miami shirt playing center back with my friends against the best competition in the country. This team would be an inspiration to many young soccer players like myself, allowing us to believe that accomplishing our dreams of playing professionally are possible through the example being set by professional players nearby. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Bill Perry, 9822 Northeast 2nd Avenue. This process is really not about sports, competition, what have you, because at the end of the day, as a graduate of Miami City Hall, one thing I do understand, that winning is not always winning and losing is not always losing. Doesn't mean that. I am a Charlie DeLuca mentee. I'm also an Orange Bowl committee member whereby I'm not here on behalf of the Orange Bowl committee because I have taken a position in regard to this project. However, we do have a long-standing relationship with First Tee, of which I'm also a board member of First Tee. And I don't want to, challenge you in regard to these young ladies in particular, where we recently started a scholarship fund. One of them asked me today, well, what happens, as my mom was a single parent, what happens in regard to my scholarship or my sister's scholarship moving forward? And I really have no answer for that aside from go down and ask the necessary questions. Hopefully you can weed through the financial fugazi as well as the information that's being led here, and also ask intelligent questions as it relates to the impact that FAA is going to have on this project, the impact that it will in terms of young adults coming primarily from the urban core. So at the end of the day, I'm here on behalf of the legacy that has been started there, and hopefully we will continue to live and abide by that legacy.
Good afternoon, I'm Kirk Menendez. My daughter Lydia is on her way from a soccer camp in Georgia. Hopefully she makes it in time and gets to speak on behalf of the youth and the fellow soccer players she participates with. I'm before you because I've spent most of my life, besides obviously working for the city of Miami a few years ago, involved in youth sports. I was a coach for 20 plus years, youth soccer. I also, not only a coach, but also an advisor to several clubs, and the last 10 years as a soccer dad. I've been throughout all of South Florida, throughout the entire state of Florida, and I see the tens of thousands of children that play soccer, youth soccer. You have kids from every country here in Miami. They're spread out throughout the county. This is a great opportunity to consolidate and give the kids an opportunity, no matter what their income level is, because there are kids at the lowest income level and kids at the highest income level playing side by side in a sport that's the people's sport around the world. As you know, Miami is a global city, and it's becoming more global every day. This is an opportunity to put Miami in the heart of what is the world of soccer, with international travelers coming in and out to want to live here. And you can bring everyone together under the banner of community, because in soccer there is community and there is spirit. And speaking about spirit, I want to address the charter. Section 6 of the charter talks about referendum. The first few words say, the electors shall have power at their option to approve or reject at the polls any measure passed by the City Commission or measure submitted by the City Commission. This section, where they emphasize the word power of the elector, goes before they even start talking about the elections of commissioners and the mayor. It goes before even talking about city departments, city manager's office, and the law department. I ask you to please, let's hold true to the charter and allow the people to speak in a referendum.
Thank you, sir.
And I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Your time is right. Ma'am, are you here to speak for or against?
Very much against.
Against?
Yes.
Okay. I think you skipped everyone in the line.
No.
You were waiting in the for line, and then you crossed over to the against line. So I want to ask that you step to the back of the against line so that we can allow everything to flow properly.
Okay. I believe you think that I just skip out of.
Excuse me a minute, Mr. Chair. She was in line, but
Yes.
she didn't know that she was.
I
That was
understand.
a four line.
I understand, but she wasn't in this line. I just want to make, hey, you okay? Everybody's together?
Yeah.
Okay, we're all together, that's fine.
All right. My name is Myra Jolie. I am an immigration attorney. I live at 700 Geronimo Drive, Coral Gables, Florida, 33176. My office is at 1221 Brickell Avenue, Suite 1210. I'm also running for District 27 for the U.S. representative elections for
Is
November.
that your phone ringing?
Yeah, no, it's not my phone. It's his phone. So now, this is a question. So I was on that side, and I'm now here on this other side. It's not that I switch. It's that this is a question of transparency. Transparency has to start from the bottom, not from when we get to Congress. We need transparency for these people. You see, this group of people in orange, the first T, if we know that we are here for the good of these people, we should put them first. Not only them, but the people that live around the Mary's Golf Course. Those people are the ones that are going to have to be suffering the impact. I don't live in that area of Miami. My office is there, but I live comfortable in Coral Gables. We're going to force these people to live in a place where it's going to be more congested than it is now. Plus, are we telling them that that was a waste? They used to have toxic waste put on that field, and that to clean it, somebody has to pay for it. There is nothing for free in this country. If we think that David Beckham deserves to have a soccer stadium here or anywhere for the good of the children, there are children outside, a group of 15 kids outside that couldn't come inside to sit and tell you exactly, and they play golf, they play soccer. I don't play soccer. I don't know anything about baseball. I don't know anything about anything. What I know is that the people have to go first, guys, not us. We are not elected to just fulfill the request of people who has money. David Beckham, he wants a soccer field for the children. He can go to Haiti and build it there because they love soccer. So that's what I say.
Ma'am, your time's expired. I want you all to listen very closely. If you step outside of the rules of procedure of this chambers, you will be removed from the chambers. So they're allowed outbursts, there's clapping, all the things that I described earlier that you cannot do. If you continue to do them, I will remove you one by one. Okay? I don't want to do that, but I will. Thank you very much.
That's what Trump said about the border.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
We're going to be removed one by one.
Mr. Chairman, how are you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Steve O. I'm the chair of the Board of County Commission, and I'm here in favor of giving the voters of the city of Miami an opportunity. I know that a lot has been talked about how this may have been rushed, but in all honesty, what you're debating here today and what you're deliberating is giving folks an opportunity not to only opine, to also have public hearings, to be able to vet the entire project and go through all the details that have raised so many questions. And I think at the end of the day, what makes us effective or try to be as effective as we can as leaders is when we get to listen to the public and get their input and their thoughts on this. I would tell you that if we want Miami to continue to be that that capital of the Americas that we all aspire to, that beacon where folks come and invest in our community, diversify our economy. These are the kind of projects, quite honestly, that we should be endorsing and supporting. But further on, I think that the voters of the city of Miami should have that opportunity to opine. They should be at the table to discuss these items, and they should have that ample time. If it goes before them in the month of November, you're talking literally 4 months of debate, public hearings, analysis of the numbers, and I think at the end of the day, it makes all of us on the county commission and you here in the city of Miami on your commission, I think it'll make you better public servants at the end of the day. So I would encourage you to allow the debate to go forward and allow the voters of the city of Miami to opine. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
You recognize, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the Commission. My name is Stephen Channels. I live in Miami Beach, and professionally, I'm an attorney. I rise to speak in opposition to RE9 and RE10. In the interest of full disclosure, I'm an avid, although mediocre golfer. I'm wearing orange, so I obviously support the first tee. You have and will continue to have many voices that speak to the merits of the project, so I want to speak to process for a moment. As an attorney, I appreciate and deeply value the integrity of any process of government. I state the obvious when I say that there is a reason for competitive bidding, not the least of which is that it promotes transparency and accountability. As the saying goes, sunshine is the best antiseptic. If there's going to be a deal, let it be a clean deal. Those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it. We need to look no further than the current Marlins Stadium to appreciate what happens when we allow responsible and accountable government to give way to expediency and private self-interest. In retrospect, we know the extent to which we taxpayers were sold out in connection with the financing of the stadium. As a lawyer and a businessman, I don't begrudge the investor group from looking to secure the best possible negotiating position for their own pocketbook. I get it. However, you, the members of the commission, were elected to look after the interests of your constituents, the voting public, and be responsible stewards of public property. This project is complicated and has many tentacles, not just a question of who pays for it, but put the project out to bid and let the market speak and then make a decision based on all of your options if there is going to be a deal. That's responsible decision making, and let's be honest, that's what you would do if the subject project were your own private enterprise. So treat public property with no less respect than you would treat your own. There is no compelling need to waive competitive bidding for any disposition of the subject property other than the developer's own private interest and their timetable. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. And you recognize.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Maciel Leiva. I've lived in Miami most of my life, and I'll be sure to keep my comments brief today. I am a product of a public school system. I attended high school in North Miami. Now I attended the University of Miami and spent the past few years in the nonprofit sector, providing social services for our underserved communities, particularly communities, those who are immigrants or Hispanic, as I myself am. And this fall, I'll be beginning my first year at Harvard Law School. All this to say that these opportunities in large part were awarded to me through the support of the Mass family. They have been some of my biggest supporters, and I think that when they come before you and speak to youth empowerment, they don't see this as a zero-sum game. They don't see it as there can only be First Tee or there can only be the soccer youth empowerment programs. There is a middle ground, and they are eager to make it right for all parties. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You recognize, ma'am. You need an interpreter?
Yes.
Oh, you have something to pass out.
Okay, yes. Because I am short on time, I am passing out the media guide, which will go into what the First Miami Tea is, okay? My name is Gladys Fuentes, and my husband and I reside at 945 Northwest 25th Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33125. I have lived in Miami since 1964. We have seen many changes over the years. We've experienced the bad deals made in the past to give away public lands to private institutions at the cost of its residents. It appears that's why we're here today. We don't want a soccer stadium at Mel Reese Golf Course. My reasons: 1, public land should not even be considered for any group to come and be given land for their whims, even if they say it will create jobs. It's a matter of ethics that a city governing body would even consider such a proposal. We learned our lessons from the Miami Marlins Park on Northwest 17th Avenue. I believe we're still paying for that facility, and the proposals have not come through. International Links Miami Melrose Country Club, better known as Melreese Golf Course, is a state-of-the-art facility. When seen from above, it reveals its splendor, an artistically designed golf course sitting in the middle of the county. Those coming to and from the airport can see the beauty and serene, quiet sight. You know the location, 37th Avenue between 42nd and 19th Street. And it is adjacent to the Grapeland Heights Water Park with 135 acres total. It began in 1942, and in 1996 and to 1997, the only city-owned golf course underwent an extensive facelift to the tune of $3.9 million. Through the direction of the DeLuca family, this park has blossomed and today is an acclaimed international golf course which hosts a world of golfing events, local clubs, golf celebrities, and the First Team Miami, which fosters 9 core values, 9 healthy habits, which I can't go into.
Ma'am, your time has expired.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Sir, you recognize.
First off, thank you very much for allowing me to speak. My name is Cesar Molero. I reside at 800 Northwest 41st Avenue. I reside in your district, Commissioner. I am for this project. A lot of people don't mention, I live down the street from Magic City Casino. When these events happen, the people pour out into my neighborhood. I live around probably 5 hotels, and the tourists are constantly walking around. The airplanes literally fly right over my house, and I am still for this project. I see the vision that this investment group has. I see the vision that they have for the future for this city. I hope you guys do too. All that we're asking for, sir, is to allow the people to vote, sir. I hope you guys believe in democracy. I hope you guys believe in due process. I want to see this vision flourish. I believe it's going to benefit the city in the long run. Maybe not currently. I understand the traffic congestion. I understand all that. But I live in the city, and I understand what that takes. I understand the commutes are just a little bit longer, but we prepare for that. That's what it takes to live in a city like Miami. We are competing with larger cities, Paris, Tokyo, Los Angeles, New York. We need to get up there, and I believe that this project will complement that vision. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you're recognized.
Good afternoon. My name is Ross Gampel. I live at 1119 Campus Sano Avenue, Coral Gables, Florida. I work in Miami, 1728 Coral Way, Suite 700, Miami, Florida. I've been working here for more than 40 years, living here more than 40 years, and I am very, very much against this proposal. You've heard eloquent speakers talk about Melreese and how wonderful it is for the First Tee, and they've spoken much better than can I. We haven't discussed the fact that there are hundreds of thousands of rounds played each year by people such as myself and my children who play as adults at Melreese and enjoy Melreese. The city of Miami has only one golf course. If that golf course is gone, it can never, never be replaced. There is no land that will ever be able to replace the mistake that would be made by getting rid of it. When we talk about what's going on here, we've got a stadium, a soccer stadium that will only occupy a very, very small portion of land with the parking that I read will be underground. It will only have approximately 12 or so home dates out of 365 days a year. So what we're really talking about is the economic development that so many of the builders have discussed today. And the question is, if Miami needs the money that much, that they're willing to give up their only golf course and green space in order to get that money back that they hope in tax revenue, which probably won't be there, but if it's an economic development issue, an economic issue, then you must open it up to public bidding. The only way to determine the fair market value and to get the most money from this space on an economic basis is to open it up to open bidding. The other issue is
Thank
here.
you, sir. Your time has expired. You recognize, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Danny DeLarco, and I am a fitness instructor in the Miami community. I'm also a writer for StayFit305.com. My job as a fitness instructor is to motivate individuals to make healthier changes in their life, but ultimately that decision is up to them, whether or not they want to make that change. I'm in support of the stadium and believe in what this project will bring to Miami, the opportunities. And so all I ask is that you give the voters the choice to decide if they want football in Miami and what the stadium will bring. Thank you for your time.
You recognize, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Jeff Lofstad. I'm the executive director of the South Florida section of the PGA of America, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the importance that this golf facility and golf in general has to the state of Florida. Quite simply, Florida is the golf capital of the world, and it's the golf capital of the world because of unbelievably great golf courses, and the city of Miami should be incredibly honored that the model municipal golf facility in the entire state is here in Miami. And the other thing that we like to talk about with golf and the industry here in Florida is the human impact that golf has, and we've heard a little bit talked about that. And when you talk about the First Tee, a model chapter throughout the entire country here in Miami, and what it does for many kids that come from challenging environments and come to a safe place that provides tutoring after school and provides and teaches life skills and healthy habits, that can't be taken away from this local group. And there's so many examples, Eric Compton certainly being one of them, that has gone on to the highest levels of professional golf that wouldn't have done that without Mel Reese being there. And the other thing that you all should be proud of is this golf facility's become the hub of what's good about golf, the charitable impact of golf. And you talk about the Special Olympics and the thousands of Special Olympians that are not quite as fortunate as the rest of us that have been able to gain some positive experiences from what they've seen at Mel Reese, and PGA Hope being the hub of PGA Hope. It's a program that assimilates military veterans back into civilian life. And without this program, these veterans would become one of the statistics, and that statistics is 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Those that are going through this program are telling us that this is saving their lives. So quite simply, saving this golf course certainly will save lives and build future leaders for generations to come. I'm convinced that one of these kids in an orange shirt will be sitting up here one day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You recognize, sir.
Hello, my name is Jordan Dean Adams, Minister Jordan Dean Adams, living in the Overtown community. In the beginning, I only saw a stadium. However, through the knowledge of working with Jorge Mas and Jose Mas and Steve Marin, I have been able to hear and understand exactly where these individuals are coming from. We both have something in common in terms of working with youth and seeing what the future has for them. In us doing that, I have been able to understand that they want the future for this city and an opportunity for these children to be able to do exactly what they need to do to succeed, to motivate them, to drive them, to push them to their limits of actually having a dream of becoming a professional soccer player, not only in the African American communities or the Latino communities or the white Caucasian communities, but all races worldwide. And what we're trying to do here is ultimately have these individuals have an opportunity to vote, to be able to get their point across, whether they want this stadium here or whether they don't. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Cooper. I worked for the World Golf Foundation, the umbrella organization that governs the First Tee. My roles with the World Golf Foundation were Director of Diversity and Southeast Regional Director. In the Regional Director role, I helped develop and had oversight of chapters in 10 states. Of the 54 chapters that were in my portfolio, the First Tee of Miami had the highest volume of programs offered. It had the highest quality programs, the highest number of participants, and the most diversity by far. I get to know them, and they serve over 250 veterans a year through the PGA Hope program, over 4,000 young participants through the First Tee, over 5,000 through the Special Olympics programs, and they have a partnership with Miami-Dade Public School District where they partner with over 70 elementary schools and train PE teachers how to deliver golf. Reese is the home for the PGA Latino America Championship. It is the home of the Doral Publix Junior Golf Classic, which has over 600 golfers per year, representing 45 countries. And it is the home of the founder and originator of the Florida Golf Specialty License Plate. That's the golfer silhouette. The specialty plate generates over $800,000 a year and has raised over $7 million since its inception, all distributed through grants to youth development programs throughout Florida. Reese is more than a golf course, and the First Tee of Miami is more than a game. They are a home to many and seem to be the perfect recipe for impacting lives and communities, and I ask that you please keep it that way. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, my name is Hector Tundidor. I'm born, raised, and educated in Miami. I want Miami to be the best city in this world. In my role at EY, I travel the globe observing and meeting many different people, and as a result, have a great appreciation for inclusive cultures and communities. I also understand what makes cities great and efficient. I also understand that youth soccer needs to be played more in our city by all. Today, it's not. As someone who played baseball for Patato Pascual Academy at Grapeland, who has 3 daughters that have played competitive, sorry, I got a call, 3 daughters that have played competitive soccer throughout the state of Florida, who currently sponsors golf events and First Tee events at the Mel Reese, as a frequent flyer with American Airlines and one that uses the airport all the time, as someone who commutes from downtown to Doral and Medley often, as someone who graduated from Miami-Dade College, Florida International University, University of Miami, as a community leader that is heavily engaged in many organizations, including United Way, Orange Bowl Committee member, NIFTY, College Map at Miami Central High. This list can go on, but this is not about me. This is about me doing my part in contributing to our magic city. I want this city to be world-class. 48 years and counting of loving Miami and helping this community. I will not stop, and I can assure you that Miami Freedom Project will only be a positive to this community. Having known the Miles family and Marcelo Claudia personally for over 25 years, I'm very confident that they will always do what is best for this community, and as a result, will always find a way to make our magic city world-class. Please ask our kids in our community if the Miles family has helped their families in our community. Please consider all that has been discussed today, find a solution that works for all, and allow the voters of our city to vote on this issue. Respectfully and inclusive of all, I believe it is extremely important for our community to vote on this matter, especially one that will be world-class and one that will always have our community's interests first.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Before you begin, the young lady that had an opportunity to speak earlier who sat down, who just walked into the room, please, if you mind following the rules and exiting back the facility. You recognize, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Leslie. I live in 4275 Northwest 18th Street, 33126. I'm a mother of 2 First Tee kids. They go to tutoring there. They do their science projects there. They spend their whole summer there. That's pretty much their home. My kids have been there for 11 years. To take away the opportunity that they have after 11 years and the scholarships that they have worked so hard for, to put a soccer stadium where they can put anywhere, where I believe they were offered in Doral and they denied it. I don't understand why they would deny for Doral and then fight for a place where other kids are playing at, but that seems very selfish to me. These kids, they spend their whole summers there. I'm sorry. My time is about to go up. But yeah, my kids have been there for a long time, and these kids have been here since 6 o'clock in the morning. Nobody has acknowledged that. That's how much effort and support that they give to this program, that they have been here since 6 o'clock in the morning and that they're still here right now. Those soccer kids have not been here that long. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you recognize?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Lorna Owens. I'm an attorney here in the Coconut Grove area. As I listened to the conversation that
and instructors of the First Tee have put into the program kindles a desire to succeed within each of the thousands of young athletes and special needs children who have been positively impacted by the program. Specifically, I mean to say that the reach of the lessons promoted and instilled in each of these individuals here extends far beyond the golf course, even into the trajectory of our daily lives. However, none of this would be the same or even possible without our home, Melreese. The presence of this golf course, of its players, of its staff, and even the daily interaction, however minimal it is, that occurs are some of the largest reasons that we feel, and the children who come through the program feel very much at home here. It's an atmosphere very largely rooted in the principles and the core values taught by the First Tee. It's a very personable environment. It is rewarding, but most of all, it's familiar. It's an environment that lends itself to a diversity, a richness, and a love that I've lived and experienced absolutely nowhere else. And I'm very proud to say that I will be taking all the lessons that I've learned, that I have been taught, whether it's in my personal regard, in an athletic regard, in an academic regard, in the First Tee program, through all the coaches that have helped me throughout all the years, to college, in life, and I know for a fact that no matter where I go, all those people I will still be able to call my family in the future. So please consider this when you're making your decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much. She's concluded. You can continue, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Gabby DiPersia, and I live in the Brickell area downtown. I just want to start off by saying that I grew up loving soccer, being passionate about it. It's something that has brought so many people together, so many people out of poverty. It's giving so many people opportunities for something greater and to be greater than what they maybe felt limited to prior. I just want to say that there's so many different organizations that I've already worked with. I want to, do soccer with my life, so I've already looked into a lot of it, and there's so many organizations that help kids who maybe can't afford to play other sports or to play soccer, to get into something, to help them with their time management, to help them with, just to be someone and to be what they, do what they want to do and be greater. And I'm not taking away from the First Tee, because I understand that they also allow kids the same opportunities. However, the Mass family has done so much for this community, so much for Miami, and soccer is such a sport that brings so many people together. The World Cup is something that
it's so international, so widely viewed. Everyone loves it. Everyone that loves soccer, you just completely connect with. And so I just think that the most fair thing to do would be to allow the people to vote on whether they think the golf course should stay or the soccer stadium should come in. I know that this is something that a lot of people are very torn about, but honestly, at the end of the day, the people who like soccer, the people who like golf. I just feel personally that soccer is so much more international and would bring so many more different people to Miami and make Miami the greatest city it can be. Personally, I know my time's running out, but when the Clásico came to Miami last year, I live in Brickell, it caused traffic, but it was worth it. I felt it was worth it. I know people that thought it was worth it as well. So I think that it has a lot of potential. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. You have more you want to say?
Yeah, I think one of my friends gave me her
So
2
if
minutes.
you all want to use someone else's time, I would appreciate if you tell us this in the very beginning so we can prepare and have the timer set for 4 minutes, because when you concluded, I went on to the next person.
Yeah.
So I'll allow you to finish and add 2 more minutes of comment.
Okay, thank you for that. I just wanted to hit on a very strong, significant point of what the First Tee promotes, and that's the idea of family. The DeLuca family is, integral, completely and entirely in every part of the First Tee program, in every single life that is impacted and positively touched by the program, by the ability to create relationships, by the lessons that you were taught about relationships, by the ability to call every single person in this room who came at 6 o'clock this morning, as it was previously mentioned, who prepared for this day and all the days before, that I'm able to call them my family, that I'm able to come back to an environment that is so significantly interwoven into each other's lives. And there's an aspect of that the personal touch that I feel, should the First Tee of Miami be displaced, will not be there anymore. As I mentioned previously, it's the atmosphere that's created that doesn't just help every single person and help them become a better person in terms of who they are on the golf course, but who they are in their daily lives, who they are in a school setting, whether it's a collegiate setting or a high school setting or a middle school setting, but in promoting the idea of family and the idea of personal connection between each individual that you meet on the golf course is very much there. So, thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, you're recognized.
Good afternoon. My name is Lydia Menendez. I'm going to be a junior at Our Lady of Lourdes Academy, and I also play soccer there. I am an avid soccer player since I was 6 years old, and my teammates have come from all over the world to play soccer, meaning from South America to Europe. And every day you see more and more kids playing soccer. And honestly, we go out there not because we are forced to, we're told that you have to do this. We go out there because it's a passion. And with the proposed plans of the world-class soccer academy, it takes our passion and it gives the kids the opportunity to pursue their dreams, such as, for example, me. I want to play college soccer. Other kids will be a step ahead and they'll have the chance to play and get to the level that they want to be. And perhaps someday they can play in the World Cup too. And so at the end of the day, soccer is the people's sport. Therefore, I ask that you please let the people decide on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You recognize, sir.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, City Manager, and Mr. Chairman. My name is Sharif Amasta. I come to you as a student athlete who is proud to have called the First Tee and Melreese Golf Course my home and my second family for the past 13 years of my life. For the sake of perspective, I would also like to say that I recently graduated from Christopher Columbus High School, and for my 4 years there, I was under the Moss Scholars Program. In addition, I was even an intern at Moss Tech the summer after my sophomore year. Because of that, I have the utmost respect for Jose and Jorge Moss, and I appreciate and understand the well-being that they have brought to Miami and to myself and my classmates as well. However, I do not believe the proposed location for this new stadium will be a positive for our community. This community has witnessed the incredible growth of Melreese and the programs that come with it over the last decade, and more so. programs that have changed the lives of children, veterans, the disabled, students, and athletes for the better. The loss of Mel Reese would not just be the loss of a golf course or public land to wealthy capitalists. It would be the loss of a family for us, the ones that currently fill this room and have been filling it for the past nearly 12 hours, as well as it's also a family that we would be losing. Now, as a Columbus and Moss Scholar alum, I have only ever heard the Moss family speak of the brotherhood and family that their programs create. As part of that family, I ask that they recognize not only how the family that they would be displacing, but how that contradicts the values of what they have taught in their schools, in their businesses, and how that contradicts every value that they've ever proclaimed to us. Now, I will be our final speaker on behalf of the First Tee because I realize that you guys are trying to get us out of this room as quickly as possible, as was apparent with the frustration with my colleague. Just so that Beckham can give his wonderful presentation after that. I understand that might be the reason why his presentation was postponed to come after us as well. But even though I may finish and leave this room, my friends and my family will be here to remain to show our support as we have since 6:30 this morning. And I hope that you, the commissioners, will understand that the values that the Moss family have taught and the values that this has taught me are contradictory to everything that they stand for with this stadium and this project. Thank you.
You recognize, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Miguel Villalobos. I formerly worked in the city of Miami as a real estate analyst for the Department of Asset Management. I worked for the city of Miami about 27 and a half years. I have, if you're going to approve this project, I have, with due respect, some suggestions for the development of the Lejeune Park, which is better known as Mel Reese Park, to the City of Miami Commissioner and to the Honorable Mayor. I have only 5 points. If you obtain from the developer a feasibility study for the proposed project. Second, obtain an expense and revenue projection schedules for a minimum of 10 years. Third, obtain a projection of the above data with at least 3 different appraisals to determine the value of the property, as these may differ in their conclusion of value. My experience has shown me that the appraisals vary very, very much in the conclusion of value. One is determine the desirable rent, including a CPI, over the life of the lease. And last, that I noticed when I worked for the City of Miami and the Department of Property and Lease, there was no reschedules of appraisal reports over the life of the city. And it's very important to make a reappraisal of the project every 5 years to determine new rents. And I hope you take in consideration my suggestion. And I'd like to give a copy of each one of you, if you allow me.
Can you give it to the clerk, please, and he'll pass it to us. Okay. You recognize, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Wendy Walsh. I am the Principal Officer for Unite Here, Local 355, the Hospitality Workers Union, 1525 Northwest 167th Street, Miami, Florida, 33169. I'm really not here either in support or against the project. I am a little confused by the project. The developer hasn't done a presentation here yet today, and we're really going by what we've seen in the newspaper. And you know, I wish that there was much more detail that has been worked out between the city and the developer before this would go to a voter referendum. Many of the speakers at the other podium today spoke about the hundreds of jobs that would come to Miami, but we don't know anything about those jobs. The developer hasn't made any commitment about the types of jobs they would provide, and the city has a labor peace resolution that the developer has not yet met the obligation to sign a labor peace agreement with us. We feel strongly that the agreement should be reached before a voter referendum. The voters have a right to know how the developer intends to treat its workers before the referendum takes place. We represent hundreds of workers at the Marlins Stadium, some of whom are outside, can't get in. You know, say what you will about the Marlins Stadium deal, but they did sign a labor peace agreement far before any approvals were done for that project. We understand that this is a star-studded project, but this developer needs to meet the same expectations that you hold the smallest developer to in the city of Miami, and we would like you to encourage them to sign a labor peace agreement with us before this goes to a referendum. Thank you.
You recognize, sir.
Right, thank you. My name is Daniel Sotelo, and I would like to urge this commission to vote yes and allow democracy to work and allow the citizens of Miami to decide if they want the stadium to be built at the Maurice Golf Course. The reason they should vote yes are the following. The project will pay rent to the city, which those funds can be used to hire more police officers, which the city badly needs, and funds to other programs. 2, even if the numbers of the jobs created are debatable, it will create more jobs than the golf courses have created at this time. In addition, according to the Professional Golf Association, memberships in golf are in decline. That's why many golf courses around the country are shutting their doors. In other words, this is costing the city money. Furthermore, the Maurice is an environmental hazard, wasting 360,000 gallons of water a day and polluting our aquifer with their pesticides. I hope you make the right choice and vote yes. Thank you, and God bless.
With all due respect.
With all due respect, Mr. Chair, I will be speaking on behalf of UEL in opposition to it and on behalf of MNU. I've given Todd a resolution on behalf of UEL in order not to go over and belabor the issue. I'll just be reading from the one on behalf of MNU.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Commissioners, vote no on this issue. This proposal before you today is a hybrid of the Marlins Stadium and the Flagstones deals. Once again, we're going to be subsidizing billionaires with the people's land. Let them buy land elsewhere and build their stadium, like Joe Robbie did with the Miami Dolphins. We find it highly offensive that you, our elected officials and the city staff, such as the city attorney, for example, have drafted language on the proposed ballot, which I'm assuming is something you've already negotiated, wherein it is indicated that these billionaires will give $20 million over 30 years, 30 years, to put amenities in the remaining part of the park, which, by the way, is much, much less than the acres they would be taking from our public land for their project. $20 million is petty cash for this group, yet you are allowing them 30 years to put amenities in the park for the residents' children. It is obvious that the mention of $20 million on a ballot as a contribution will look quite appealing, enticing, when it is actually a mockery of the electorate. This ballot language is a farce. The items being brought to the voters have been broken down by bullet points. I find it interesting that one dealing with the rent has a question mark afterwards when none of the others do. We had somebody here speaking today by the name of Mickey Menageria, who said that it's totally inappropriate. They should be paying rent for $20 million. Yet we have $3 million in rent. You should be taking note of the people speaking here today, and you should have since the beginning. Where is it that they live? This proposal is in the city of Miami. Hence, I'll be cutting very shortly. Hence, no statements from anyone other than City of Miami residents and voters should have any bearing, one way or the other, on your decision-making. It is the residents of the City of Miami, those who vote for you, who voted for you, those who pay taxes so that you may operate this city government, the one who pay your salaries, your benefit, your cost reimbursement, whom you have to listen to. And in conclusion, commissioners, if you commissioners are willing to monetize this parkland, then no park in Miami is safe. We want elected officials who will protect and preserve our parklands. We need more parks, actually, not less. Stop giving away our public land. Reject this proposal.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You recognize, sir.
Hello, my name is Brian Corey, and I was born in the city of Miami. I started playing in youth soccer leagues at age 4. My parents worked late, so soccer kept me out of trouble in middle and high school. College was a different story. Through soccer, I learned how to compete, overcome adversity, work with others, win with class, and learn from loss. I'm now a business owner with employees, and I contribute to local, state, and federal taxes, sometimes more than I'd like to. I owe my relatively successful path to my parents, support system, my superhero wife, and soccer. I know firsthand the transformative power of soccer, and I strongly believe that it can solve Miami's greatest issue, unity. I've always took pride in Miami's diversity and the fact that we are the shining city upon a hill for so many seeking opportunity. But with diversity comes disunity. Miami does not and should not have an official language, but if it did, it wouldn't be English or Spanish, it would be soccer. This team gives us a chance to come together for something positive rather than just after hurricanes. Look at this room and you'll see the power of the sport. This proposed Freedom Park will offer the opportunity of success for young and old in Miami. For that reason, I believe it's imperative to let the people of Miami decide whether or not to accept this offer, which thankfully requires no money from the city, and of course they will be paying taxes just like I do. Thank you, and vamos Miami.
Thank you very much. Before you start speaking, Attorney William Douglas Muir, I know you had an opportunity to speak, and as I stated, if you had an opportunity to speak, I need you to exit the chambers to allow people to come in and have a seat. Thank you very much, Counselor. Thank you, Counselor. You recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Chairman Hardeman, Vice Chairman Russell, City Commissioners. Horacio Stewart Aguirre, proudly residing at 1910 Northwest 13th Street on the Miami River District in Alapata. Commissioners, I wish I weren't here. This is very uncomfortable for me. You see, my father and the late Jorge Macanosa were like brothers. They spoke every day, sometimes several times a day. They worked very closely. He was one of the finest men this community has ever had. And today, I find myself opposing a project that his family supports. And on top of that, I happen to be a soccer fanatic. I love soccer. But you see, city commissioners, I love my city more. I love my neighborhood more, and I love Alapata more. City commissioners, Melreese Country Club is a priceless public amenity that welcomes and serves all, regardless of race, color, creed, age, or financial circumstances. There's no other park like this anywhere in Miami-Dade County. And today, gentlemen, you're being asked to consider the ransacking and pillage of this great Melreese Park, and especially the surrounding single-family neighborhoods. Gentlemen, let's be clear about this. This is not about soccer, not at all. This is about a major real estate development. Let's be honest, call it what it is, speak loudly and freely, don't be afraid. This is about real estate. It's not about soccer and it's not about kids. So, you're going to be told today in a few minutes that there are economic studies that say that millions of economic impact dollars will come to us. Well, you've been hearing that for 30 years, and today Miami is still one of the poorest cities in the entire United States. So when the economic talk comes about and they tell you how many thousands of people are going to be employed and how many millions of dollars will come, think Marlins Stadium and think rubbish. Thank you. Vote no.
Thank you, sir. You recognize, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Francisco de Mosten. I'm from Miami. Today, I'm coming to support David Beckham about soccer. Soccer is a legacy. It's not something you start and collapse. It's lived from generation to generation. From my point of view, soccer made me the man I am today. When you play soccer, it lets you focus. You don't have to follow people. I don't have nothing against the park, but soccer is not about fighting. People come here today, you're against, you don't want it. Soccer is about love. To be concluding, we should not fighting about this. Let people vote.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Thompson. I'm with Special Olympics Florida, and I'm sort of not for or not against, but I support what is happening at Mel Reese Golf Course, and I take that stance because I believe in soccer. I've been in nonprofits for 32 years. I've coached, I've led youth soccer, I've led all sports, and here's what I know about Mel Reese. Over the course of 6 weeks each spring, more than 400 children and adults with developmental and intellectual disabilities train and compete in golf through Special Olympics at Mel Reese Golf Course. This has been happening for over 30 years. Over 5,000 individuals have been exposed to golf as a result. It's an incredible collaboration, relationship, partnership, and friendship. And it's not just about golf. You've heard that before. It's a culture of passion and desire to provide a joyful experience to each person participating. Of the 16 sports provided throughout the county each year by Special Olympics to over 6,000 Special Olympics athletes, golf continues to be one of the most popular. It's more than just golf at Mel Reese. It's the quality of instruction, it's the smiles, it's the high fives, it's the hugs, it's the setting. It's Charlie DeLuca. And when the season's over, it's when does golf start again, Mark? Just wanted to add one other part to it. After listening to everybody speak, elimination of services, whatever it is just not right. And with 32 years in nonprofits, we work so hard to collaborate, not duplicate services, and here we're talking about eliminating something. One against the other, it doesn't make sense. Let's work together, let's make this happen. But it's not golf against soccer. It's really about doing as much as we're already doing and more for children and adults. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You recognize, sir.
All right, hi, my name is Mikael Phillips. 1 second, yeah. I'm totally in support for soccer here because, I grew up playing soccer as a young boy and, I grew up in a really rough neighborhood now over here. And by playing soccer, it actually allowed me the opportunity to grow as a man, to become a man of character. So, I know you guys some of you guys have been watching the World Cup. You guys see how much unity and togetherness that it brings, in Russia, in Brazil, and very soon we'll be here in the US. So, honestly, I believe by you guys supporting this and voting yes on this, it'll be a great opportunity for the community, and it'll be a great community for those who aspire to be professional players. And I'm not against the people of Mel Reese. You guys are open to your opinion. It's your city. It's your neighborhood, but just want to say, let the people vote, and hopefully you vote yes for the soccer stadium. Thank you.
You recognize, ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Terry Morales, and I live in the Grapeland Heights area. I actually live mere blocks away from the Mel Reese Golf Course. It is something that I have been very concerned about. I don't believe any of us in this room would ever want to live next to a 28,000 spectator stadium. For those of us who have ever gone to a stadium event before, I think what we really despise is getting in and then leaving. As a matter of fact, some viewers will actually choose to leave before the game is over to avoid the mayhem and the chaos. Now, I try to envision that every day in my life because my house is right there in the midst of all of this. And all of you have experienced a stadium, arrival and exiting. It's a complete, it is cars stopped, cars not moving. And I now envision myself, God forbid, with this stadium project being built, having to live with a schedule of soccer games, you know, in my hand to make sure what time would be a good time for me to leave my house or what time would be a good time for me to come back, so I won't be caught up in that constant mayhem. I don't think anybody has ever, I'm not sure because I haven't been able to listen to all the speakers, but has anybody ever imagined what kind of impact this is going to have in the neighborhood, in the residential areas? Houses are right there on 37th Avenue across from Melreese, and quite frankly, I have always enjoyed the Melreese Golf Course. I went there as a 10-year-old with my father, and I'm quite old now, so that was a while ago. So Melreese has always been well-loved. It's a jewel. It's a jewel in our neighborhood. It brings class to our neighborhood. As a matter of fact, I envision a real estate agent calling their client and saying, hey, I have a beautiful house for you. It has everything you need, everything you want. As a matter of fact, it is even adjacent to a golf course. That would be good. Give me 2 seconds. But imagine that same real estate agent calling and saying, I have the perfect house, but it's adjacent to a 28,000 spectator stadium. That person would slam the phone on this real estate agent and say, you're fired, you're crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You recognize.
Hi, my name is Olivia Candela. I am here in favor of giving the citizens of Miami the opportunity to express themselves through our right to vote. I have played soccer for over 16 years here in Miami and have been raised within this amazing soccer community. It is an understatement to say that I owe many of my achievements to being part of soccer here. It has taught me what sacrifice, drive, and hard work really is, and has most importantly given me the opportunity given me the opportunity to share some of the most joyous moments and memories here in unity with the people of Miami, which is why I, too, have been here since 6 a.m. rallying support from our soccer community. There is nothing I would want more than see this community continue to grow and express its passion for this sport. This is an international city with an incredible passion for soccer, and we deserve the right to vote in important issues like these. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir?
Praise the Lord Jesus, because he's worthy to be praised. And if you agree, you can say amen. And good afternoon to every wonderful person at the sound of my voice. I'm just here on behalf of being thankful that I was given the morning off, because I was assured that I had enough members from the Coconut Grove community that I wouldn't be needed. So I took the morning off, but I listened and watched what was going on. We need a soccer stadium. We need another sports arena in the city of Miami, like we need another hole on our face, for one thing. Now, I didn't mean that for joke. I mean serious, because I retired when the proposal was for Florida Power, like to remove all those electric meters so that Marlins Stadium could go up. There were over 1,000 families that was inconvenienced and had to relocate. Some of those units housed 2 and 3 families, each individual unit. Now, there is no proof that there is a market for an arena for soccer. There is enough real estate up by the Marlins Stadium that if he was sincere in having a soccer stadium in South Florida, it could be there. We don't need another stadium in our municipality. And if we want to do something with that real estate, if we're going to consider doing anything other than a golf course with that real estate, we have a greater issue we're faced with. It's called housing that is affordable. The politicians say affordable housing, but we need housing that is affordable. So if you're going to do anything other with our property, then a golf course, I would please ask that you consider working with Miami-Dade County, who in the Building Better Communities bond in 2004, the $2.9 billion bond, which in it was for the expansion of home ownership up to some 500 single-family homes, providing first and second mortgages. I'm going to be through. And so working with them to see how they will give us, the city of Miami, our portion of that $2.9 billion, in addition to what we can, from our $400 million bond, work together. And if you're going to do something with that real estate, provide for us what we need. We don't need our...
Thank you, sir. Your time has expired. People are starting to overspeak time and time and time again, so I have to slow it down. You recognize, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Joshua Sliva. I've lived in Miami all my life. Football is a passion, and one day I dreamed that I can play for Beckham in this team. The stadium will bring so many benefits to the city. Football or soccer is a sport that anyone can play, not just a select group of people. I and many other people understand that this golf course may be something that people have created memories in, but that doesn't mean that they have to stop there. There are so many other courses that can offer the same experiences, but this stadium will offer the whole of Miami the experiences of a lifetime. Just as those opposed to the stadium use the word family so much, we, football fans, want to create and form a family together with this stadium. Everyone understands that parking and traffic is something that no one likes, but let's face the facts. This is Miami, and that's everywhere. This stadium isn't going to increase or decrease the average volume of traffic that we face every day. What truly matters is that the whole of Miami can identify with this new project. I hope everyone can comprehend that this project will indeed flourish if the decision comes to pass, and I know that those against it will one day enjoy it just as much as those who are for it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is John Tolban. I am a 21-year federal law enforcement officer. I'm also a volunteer coach at Mel Reese Country Club. There are very few things that I've heard here today that inspire common sense. So let's just go to common sense. Miami has already had an MLS team. It lasted a whole total sum of 4 years. When you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that's called insanity. There is also something that our grandparents, or my grandparents, instilled in me. And we've all heard it. Pájaro en mano, vale más que 100 volando. A bird in a hand is worth more than 100 in the air. What you have with Mel Reese Country Club, what you have with the synergy at the First Tee, with the individuals that work there that have nothing to do with the First Tee. These are the people at the pro shop. These are the people at the restaurant. What you have is a bird in the hand. You have a program that works in a facility that is well managed. What you are doing is you are walking away from a long-term happy marriage just because. Not because your partner did anything to you, not because there is any cause for you to divorce, but just because you woke up and you said, you know what, it's July 12th, and I have no reason to leave, but I'm still leaving because there's a promise. There are 100 birds, 100 pájaros en el aire, that Beckham and his people are putting in front of you. I just appeal to your common sense, to what your grandparents, who were probably very close to my grandparents, said. You never, ever, ever let go of a bird in the hand, and this program works. Thank you.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Alfredo Lopez Sotillo, and I'm an undergrad at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Go Heels.
I grew up in Miami my whole life, playing soccer throughout all my years, and I'm here to support this proposed plan to finally bring the soccer stadium to Miami. Soccer has continued to grow internationally, and it will continue to dominate as a sport. I firmly believe that the Miami Freedom Park will bring a unique experience for families in the city of Miami and across the globe to experience what Miami has to truly offer. The programs which have been proposed by the owners of the new team will help kids from all backgrounds and communities gain access to more exciting, more unique development programs for so many young children. Soccer is a team sport, and it brings people together. It is an extremely accessible sport and easily playable wherever you are, unlike golf. It all boils down to soccer versus golf, not saving the children. Let's leave it to the people to decide. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am?
Hi, my name is Melissa Delisle. I live at 4423 Alton Road in Miami Beach. I'm a golf mom, My son and daughter have been playing for over 10 years, but I am also a soccer mom. My daughter played for many years, as well as myself growing up here in Miami Shores. We both played on their club teams. I know the importance of playing on a team sport, and I disagree, and I think golf, even though it's a solitary sport, you play as a team. You play in a foursome, you play in a twosome, and even if you play alone, you have a team behind you. Why I'm most opposed to this plan is because of the precedent it creates by leasing 111 acres of public park to a private company. What will other cities do when they see you do this? Will they want to do it as well? Will we lose more of our public parks to private companies that want to lease them and make years and years of money on those leases? Why Melreese is so unique is that it's the only course in Miami where kid golfers can play for free. No other course in Miami promotes junior golf like Melreese does. The game of golf is one of the most expensive sports. At Melreese, no child is turned away from golf if they want to play. Because of Melreese's exceptional way of giving back to the kids in our community through golf, they've opened many doors to scholarships, like Boston University, Cornell, Barry, American, UF, St. Thomas, University of Miami. One of our girls is even going to Pebble Beach this month to play in a very prestigious tournament through Melreese. Even as we speak here, and you see the sea of orange shirts behind me since 6:30 in the morning, there are still 50 kids in Melreese's summer program learning the game of golf. So please consider the impact of destroying our public golf course will have on all these kids in your community. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir? Good afternoon, Commissioners. I want to begin by thanking you guys for letting me speak today. My name is Scott Wood, and I'm a supporter of letting the people of this great city decide. I moved to the city as a young boy, not knowing anyone, and soccer has given me relationships that will last a lifetime. I have played soccer for Christopher Columbus High School and various club teams in Coral Gables, Kendall, and Weston. I'm currently studying and playing club soccer at the University of Miami. I owe soccer for many of my accomplishments in life. It has taught me dedication, passion, and hard work, and I have seen this sport transform people into their best self, and I want to give this to the people of Miami. I believe this great opportunity for this sport, and especially the city. Let the people of this amazing city decide. Thank you. Thank you. Sir.
Hello, my name is Emil Carborje. My family and I have lived in this area for 24 years. The people of Miami want a soccer team, not another stadium. Since 2013, every proposal made has shown itself to be tainted by residential opposition or legal disputes due to lack of transparency. Placing a stadium village next to an airport poses a major risk to our homeland security, whether it is caused by human error or intentional attacks. Safety is the #1 concern here. As evident by England's victory over Sweden, the headline news focused on how thousands of people went to the streets, creating public disturbance in the very city Beckham lived and played for, resulting in 378 reported incidents, 70 arrests, roadblocks that prevent emergency vehicles. People were assaulted, and the list goes on. The public safety was at great risk. Additionally, Mr. Moss mentioned that he wants to model a team after Atlanta United Football Club in Georgia, which shares a newly built stadium that left Atlanta residents with higher taxes. Studies indicate that privately funded sports venues built in recent years consist of hidden costs, an added 40% on average to a public's official price tag. It is important to note the group already has purchased land on which to build a new stadium in Overtown. Mr. Moss explains he doesn't want to build in Overtown to avoid gentrification, or is it because the residents don't want it there either? In fact, during an NPR interview in 2016, Mayor Francis Suarez made a reference of former Mayor Carlos Alvarez, who was recalled after going against the will of the people, which was approving Marlin Stadium. None of these men live in the surrounding area which would be affected. Mr. Moss and Mayor Suarez pride themselves on being Miamis with the best interests of the city, yet they're demonstrating the inability to stay connected to the needs and wants of the people. Home is where the heart is, and Beckham's heart is in England. Miami is business for him. A vote against the stadium at Melreese Park will set the precedent for future public officials that our local government is about the quality of living for the people and not a quick profit on the backs of the common man. This is not a decision about golf versus soccer. It's a decision about whether they ignore the people's quality of life over promises which do not come with guarantees. I implore our commissioners and mayor to strengthen the roots of the tree of integrity by sowing morals and dignity with the communities they serve. To the Beckham Group, I say no mas.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Rodriguez. I've been given the amazing opportunity to be working with Football Miami through Mostec. And I'm extremely excited to see what's to come in the near future for Football Miami. Although I'm not the best soccer player, I played many sports in my entire life. From this, I've been able to learn many key aspects in life that made me into the man I am today. Dedication, passion, and drive. Many may think that the soccer stadium is just an object, but to many others like myself, it is more than that. It's a place where people can bond over an amazing sport with friends and teammates, or where people can work and grow their physical and mental strength. Soccer is a worldwide sport due to the skill and strength it takes to play it, and the excitement and adrenaline rush you get when watching it. It's time to expand this love for soccer into the city of Miami, where a soccer stadium would fit right in. But I know and I respect that it is up to the people to decide. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners.
Welcome, Commissioner.
Thank you. My name is Richard Dunn. I live at 1895 Northwest 57th Street in Miami, Florida. The question is not, do we want soccer? It's already been demonstrated that soccer is here. The question is not, is there an approved site? There is an approved site by the MLS. However, let me state some of the facts. The first thing I like to state is my son, Brandon, come on up, Brandon, a little bit. When he was about 12 years old, he learned how to play golf at Mel Reese Golf Course. My oldest son, Richard, who's now 30 years old, when he was about 15 years old, he learned how to play golf at Mel Reese Golf Course. The only regret is that I never learned how to play golf. But I didn't want Al Crespo to write me up, tell him he's in the back there. So also during that same period, many of you may know the name Thaddeus Lewis. Thaddeus Lewis played quarterback at Hialeah Miami Lakes, started as a freshman, played all 4 years through the 12th grade, graduated, attended Duke University, graduated, went on to the NFL to play for the Buffalo Bills. He learned how to play golf at Mel Reese Country Club and Golf Club. Tiger Woods made his first appearance at Mel Reese Golf Club and Country Club, Golf Club and Country Club. Also, I'll get it right. I'm not a golfer, but also many of us marvel at basketball pro Alonzo Mourning. He plays golf at the Mel Reese Golf Club. It is not just a golf club, it is a culture. And there's an old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's not broke, it's a culture, and it's more than a golf club. There's tutorial services, there's training, there's Special Olympics. This is something that, and one of the most beautiful sights in the world is if you're flying into the MIA or flying out of the MIA and you look to the east, you can see all that green space. We are known in South Florida as one of the golf capitals, as the golf capital of the world. Let's not lose it, City of Miami. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir?
Hello, my name is Gabriel Cabrera, and I'm currently a student at Louisiana State University. I'm here in support of the Soccer Village. I understand how much this means to the First Tee program, but with this new Soccer Village, there's an opportunity to develop similar programs that can also enhance the lives of many underprivileged children of all ethnicities. All we're asking is that for such a major decision, it is only fair that you let all residents of Miami have a vote, since it will affect them as well. And as heard from a man earlier that said Miami soccer has tried once and failed, did it ever occur that maybe the reason they failed is because they played in a glorified high school stadium in Fort Lauderdale? And what would it say about the people of Miami if we quit just because the time and place was not right the first time? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners, City Manager. I'm an advocate for children in education, and I've been an inner city teacher in Chicago, actually. And I'm very aware of programs that come into the community and really help the inner city communities. And I've never found a program more organized with the ultimate goal of getting these children to have core values, scholarship opportunities, and even for kids that aren't going to have scholarship opportunities, homework, and just building their self-esteem. It's amazing. And I want to thank Willie Gort for being so open-minded and supportive of Miami Tea, and for Ken Russell, who was out there the other day trying to learn about First Tee. One of the things I think that Chairman Russell observed was the immensity, how big First Tee is. This is not a program that you can just throw us a bone and say, don't worry, First Tee, we got you covered. We'll give you 3 holes in a driving range so you can continue your program. This is a very, very immense program. And I'm very disappointed that Francis Suarez is not here today. I met him several years ago at a good government class where he and Dan Gelber spoke about good government and the importance of good government. Well, part of good government is giving to the people the truths and to do your due diligence. You know, there hasn't been a lot of talk. There will be in a few minutes about traffic conditions, safety. You know, we got a major airport here. I hope that people are going to do their due diligence about good entry and exit to the airport, soil samples. This is on a landfill. Do you know how much time it takes to excavate? I'm not a soil sample expert, but we're the landlords. The city is the landlord of this landfill. When we got to start cleaning it up, who's going to end up? What if it takes them years to build because of this? I mean, there's a lot of hypotheticals, but we just need to do our due diligence and have good government in mind. This vote, if it goes to vote, I apologize and disappoint you. They're going to win. It is sexy. Just like Beckham is sexy. Soccer stadium in Miami.
Ma'am, your time is
Let's
up.
do it. I am sorry. It cannot go to a vote because they're giving all of you a snow job. This isn't a FIFA football stadium. This isn't a stadium that can support the World Cup. This is a little tiny stadium with a lot of big buildings. Come on, people. I'm talking to all of you. It's a snow job.
Thank you, ma'am.
Basically, bend over, pull down your pants,
No,
because we're getting
please.
screwed.
Your time is up. Thank you. Please, let's refrain from making noise, and please, let's keep it civil. Thank you. Sir.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Carlos Garcia. Was the director of Radio and TV Marti for 5 years, and I know it's your job, but I want to thank you for being so patient and having a good exercise of democracy, which many times we take for granted. And to listen to each other is very valuable. I'm here to express myself pro having this project on the ballot. I think soccer, my daughter was here earlier speaking, I think soccer is a great sport, it's a world sport, it's a people's sport, and that's not to say that the First Tee is not a great program, and golf is also. This is not about golf versus soccer. This is about having an open debate about what's better for the city and what the people want. And that doesn't need to exclude one from the other. So, yes, I love soccer. I've traveled the entire state of Florida following my girl playing soccer. But I'm also a golfer. And I played in Mel Reese. And it's a wonderful facility. But I think this has to have a democratic process. It should be on the ballot. We should debate about it. And we should trust the democratic process. That's why you're here. And I fully trust that that's what happened. We're not in Cuba, Venezuela, Honduras, or El Salvador. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am.
Yes, my name is Charlene Grawl. I live at 2500 Southwest 13th Street in Shenandoah. And I just want to thank you all for listening to us today. I can't be as eloquent as the lady before me, but I do think that this location is not a good location to have this complex simply because of the closeness to the airport, and also we have many hotels around in that area already. I am not against soccer. I'd love to see a soccer stadium, just not at that location. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Janinha Piazzetta, and as you see by my t-shirt, I am a soccer fan.
Boa tarde.
Boa tarde. And I will be very happy to see a soccer stadium in Miami, but I also feel that we need to know more about the project, more details, debate about it. And on that note, I will say that let the community to decide if the location is the right place to build the soccer stadium, and if it really will benefit our community, our town. I am about democracy, so let the community decide it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Aleida Martinez Molina. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak. I really should be in the middle because I'm neither for nor against. I really just have a lot of questions. Perhaps everybody in the room is a lot smarter than I am, but for me, by the way, I commend the MAS organization for putting together such a fabulous dream team of big law firms and lobbyists, et cetera, et cetera. I just have a lot of questions. I travel through the area and traffic. Where's the traffic study? What's going on here? What's with traffic? Okay. Also, at the risk of being a geek, this